We have an agenda here. We shall have, I don't know whether the accounting officer, you have a copy? Okay. We shall have prayers, 2 housekeeping, introduction, communication from the chair, a brief statement by the accounting officer on the effect of COVID-19. Then we shall consider the audit report 2018-2019. I don't know whether you're comfortable with this or you. Yeah, then I like to request our clerk to lead us into a short prayer to start our meeting.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the officers of leaders and parliament for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen.
Yeah, thank you, clerk. Maybe we have introduction. We request you, the accounting officer, to start, then we will follow from there.
Good morning, honorable members of Parliament. This is Jinja Regional Referral Hospital.
You put it closer to you so that. Or you can use this one.
To Mrs. Florence are my names. I'm the accounting officer, Jinja Regional Referral Hospital. And I came with a team of technical people. Let me start with the head of finance.
I'm Nasa Ben, head of finance and administration. Good morning to all.
I'm Lukom Siraj, accountant.
I'm Biaranga Milton, internal audit. Good morning, Honorable.
Thank you. Can we have our technical team? And we wind up with the members present.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. Good morning, everybody. I'm called Salongo Punya Willie, Senior Auditor Office of the Auditor General and attached to Parliamentary Liaison. Thank you very much.
Good morning, members. My name is Alice Tusime, Auditor Jinja Branch. Thank you.
Good morning, members. My name is Ronald Mukasa, an auditor attached to Jinja Regional Office.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Susan Arite. I'm representing Accountant General's Office. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members. I'm Detective Inspector Chamlabi Janat, CID attached to the committee.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Detective Inspector of Police Mildred, in charge CID attached to this committee.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Mao Mikaya, the technical search to park.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Alex Onanyang, Assistant to Deputy Chairperson. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Nawat Rosemary, Member of Parliament, Amudati District.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Florence Namayanja. I represent Bokoto East constituency.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Can we have our interns to introduce themselves?
Good morning, Chair and members. I'm called Ivy Kemsha from the Department of Litigation and Compliance.
Good morning, Chair and everyone. My name is Zampire Rachel. I'm from the Department of Litigation and Compliance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Gilbert Ainomjisha. I'm the clerk to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members and my colleagues. My name is Oken Pipi Ojara. I represent the people of Chua West, and I'm the deputy chair of this committee. I'll be the one chairing this particular session. So you're most welcome. I want to start by saying that you feel free. There is tea, coffee, water, and soda. We are going to have a working, we do not want to have a very tense atmosphere here. So you feel free, accounting officer, invite your team to be able to access what is there available. Then two, I was informed by the clerk that normally there are challenges of us accessing places where we want to go and the washrooms. The downer part is for the gentlemen. We go to the third floor. Then the upper one is for the ladies. So if you feel like you want to go and help yourself, the gentlemen, you go down one step, third floor. Then the ladies is actually in the fourth floor where we are, just on the left-hand side. You don't need to use a lift. You can just step down one step, and then you can help yourself. So other than that, you're most welcome, accounting officer. I'd like to go to the next item, which is your brief statement on COVID-19. We just want you to summarize, because we are starting late, and I must apologize. I know you came at exactly 10 o'clock. We had some other issues. The period we are in is not a very good period. Sometimes you get out of your home, you find a lot of people collected there. They want to get your opinion, and that's what delayed some of us. But we do sincerely apologize for that. So please, you tell us, what you're doing in terms of COVID-19 and how it has impacted on your medical referral hospital. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Chair. In as far as the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, since the pandemic was announced in March 2020, Jinja Regional Referral was one of the COVID treatment centers designated and accredited by Ministry of Health. And with that, we have had quite a number of activities to be able to address the pandemic. One of them, it is a treatment center, and as a treatment center, as of today, we have successfully treated and discharged 77 patients. And currently on admission, we have 3. Of those, 11 were females, and the rest were males. We have had some few nationals, 4 Eritreans, I think 2 Kenyans, 1 Somali, among others. And most of our patients who have come in, they were coming with either they had no symptoms or had mild symptoms. We have not registered any death. Again, as the pandemic was coming, Jinja Regional Referral Hospital, in terms of infrastructure, benefited from, we received 10 intensive care unit beds. Now we have a fully-fledged intensive care unit, save for the manpower. We received 10 ventilators, which improves on our medical equipment availability. But we are not wishing that we should have somebody use them, but in case we are ready, in case we get somebody who needs assisted ventilation. We also got health workers who were posted to the hospital under the COVID fund, nurses, 3 doctors, and 1 specialist, and more are still coming. We have had various trainings. One of them was in training in the management of a critically ill patient, ICU management, managing a critically ill patient, and that built our capacity as health workers, both in managing the uncomplicated cases and the complicated cases in a case. We have also got skills to manage pandemics. This was the first time Jinja Regional Referral Hospital was getting in such a pandemic. They were hearing others have Ebola, Marburg, and whatever, but this was the first time, so the skills of the health workers have improved. We have also noted an improvement in behavior, especially infection prevention and control, with special emphasis on hand washing. We have got additional hand washing facilities from our well-wishers and implementing partners. And the hand washing index in the hospital has increased up to 80%. And the community. And on the part of the community, we have also, as a benefit, a ripple effect, we have seen a decrease in the number of children admitted with diarrhea following the intensified hand washing. We have also been able to visit the ports of entry. We have supported them and built capacity in those districts. We have been doing surveillance activities, and as a hospital, so far we have taken off 2,800 something samples. The majority came from Tembo Steel Industries, where we have controlled the epidemic now, and the others are for the board, for the truck drivers. However, we have also increased collaboration with our different stakeholders. Different companies came in to support the hospital, including the Gateway Bus Services, the Indian Association, which was feeding the health workers, Water Mission Uganda, amongst the Chabazinga Kingdom, among all the others, and the media. Our relationship has greatly improved. On the other side, COVID-19 has greatly affected our service delivery. We realize the utilization has come down for both inpatient and outpatient services, especially when the lockdown was at its peak. Then we also noted an increase in poor obstetric outcomes, especially for babies, because mothers were coming late. We have also noted an increase in hospital-based death because patients were coming when they are critically ill. But now things are starting to normalize. Then we have had psychosocial effects, both for the community and the health workers. The health workers have a lot of anxiety, going to work every day thinking you are going to go home when you are infected. And some of them, they have stayed away from their families since the pandemic started, which is causing some little bit of psychosocial stress. We also noted an increase in the gender-based domestic violence, the clients who are coming into the hospital, and a drop in the number of our patients who were accessing medicines for chronic care, especially HIV, hypertension, and diabetes. But for hypertension, for diabetes, for HIV, it was easy. We had to engage our community systems to deliver the drugs to the patients, which was a little bit costly. That is the little brief I can have as of now.
Okay. Have you started getting cases of community infection?
Yes, we have started getting
What is
cases.
the rate there?
Pardon?
The rate of the community infection.
Out of the 18, 57 were truck drivers.
Just the local people around Jinja,
Yeah, the local,
no,
locally in Jinja we had only one, but for him he was also a truck driver. Then we had others from Weikwe.
So there is no community infection?
In Jinja we have not had, unless if they're being treated in another area. But the community infections we had.
But in the referral hospital, you should be able to understand what is going on around that area.
No. The community cases we're getting them from Weikwe, and these were the contacts of the Tembo Steel Industry. And then we had one fisherman.
One fisherman?
Yes. and 3 wives of contacts of truck drivers.
So they all tested positive?
Yes.
Okay. But we have not had any fatality? The fatality?
No, we haven't had any death.
What is your view on the current, we have seen some people now, we have 4 cases of death cases in the country. What do you say about as a medical practitioner?
Yeah, when you analyze the death, mostly people are dying, apart from the Namisin lady who was 34-year-old, the others are a little bit middle-aged, if not a little bit approaching senior citizenry, and they have underlying conditions. So we are taking special precaution as the hospital, whereby our patients who have chronic illnesses, we are continuing to talk to them. But we think if we are not careful, we might get the second wave of the epidemic, because now the infections are there in the community. Yes.
So there is a most likely scenario that we will now start seeing more cases of community infection in the country.
Yes.
Okay. Members, I think I've heard from
Mr. Chairman.
Rosemary?
Yes, I would like to find out from the accounting officer, besides training your staff, like the nurses, do you also support the nursing school?
Yeah, the nursing school would support them if they were in school, but currently they are what? They are at home.
Florence, do you have anything? Okay, I think let's move now to thank you for your submission, and there's also given us the picture of how we should be able to look at the COVID-19 at the national level. You just make your microphone be on, put it on as we, yeah. Members, I think let's refer to the audit queries, and we are strictly going to move very fast on this. We want to set a record today. Now, issue number 1.1, revenue performance. You have not been able to perform to what you budgeted for. What happened?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Actually, as a hospital, for us, we expected even to collect more than what they had given us. We had, Minister of Finance gave us a budget of 250 million for our NTR, and we actually remitted 395. So
you remitted how much?
395 million, and the receipts are available for verification, implying that actually we overperformed. But when it came to the releases, we were given only 226 million. We were given less than what we collected and less than what we remitted.
Now you are giving us a different story altogether.
Yes.
What shows that you have remitted the 395? Is there evidence for that?
Yes. The remittance,
the
remittance receipts.
Can we get it for the financial year 2018-2019?
Yes.
Then why did they send you less money?
Well, I think finance would be in a better position to give why they sent us less.
Let me see your final. Now you want us to go back to your final account. Which is? I don't think we had wanted to. Can you get for us the evidence that you have? Because we are seeing in your final account, your financial performance.
Accountant, take us
Number 9,
to the page.
You said you collected 195. Page 9. Members, you refer to page 9. Then you remitted. You even remitted less than what you collected. Are you seeing? Page 9. You collected 1,395 and you remitted less.
Accountant, Let me call upon the technical person to take us through.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. When you look at page 9, we have non-tax revenue 395. When you go down to transfers to treasury, it is 345. The difference of 53, that was the cash that was in transit. We gave instructions to the bank to transfer that money to finance, but by the end of the closure of the year, that transfer had not gone through.
Get for us the evidence.
The evidence, we have the receipt here, 53 million.
Not the receipt, the instruction.
The instruction that you gave to the treasury.
Okay, we'll get the not come to what.
Because that is the evidence.
But even when you look at it, not
no, first clear that. First give us the instruction to the bank.
Do you have the instruction to the bank?
We did not carry it, but we have it at the hospital.
But we knew this was going to be a query. Why didn't you carry it?
The remittances.
The remittances, Mr. Chairman, if you remitted money and you have evidence, is what we are looking for, is the reason you did not remit the balance.
Honorable
That
Chair.
could be the issue.
Yeah, Honorable Chair. When you look at this receipt of dated 2nd July, this receipt. This is when the bank acted on our instructions.
Can you get us that receipt? Can you get us that receipt? Your original copies?
This is our original copies.
You didn't photocopy? You get if the file, you get for us the file. If you want us to make copies of this, you can make copies of this. So this is this is the one on transit?
Yes.
The 53?
The 53.
Now, accounting officer, all these receipts here you have given us now, what happened? Why didn't you give it to the Auditor General when they came? Because they normally come in October and the financial year ends in June, July. And this is the receipt I can see of July, which means that it's 2019, same financial year. So when they came, why did you hand over this? You put the microphone on. Let's move a little faster because we want to set a record today.
Yeah.
We want to set our own record.
Honorable Chair, during that period, these are some of the things I have inherited because I have been in the NT for the last 3 months. But my accountant can tell why he did not, since he's a custodian.
Yes, accountant.
Yes.
When the Auditor General came, why didn't you give them all this? Because even here, they are talking about underperformance. And you actually overperform.
Yes.
And you had an exit meeting. Why didn't you clear this?
Thank you, Chair. The auditor's concern was on the statement of appropriation, which is on page 13 and 14.
No, I'm not reading. Don't push me there. We are looking at this.
Because you
go to the Auditor General query.
Yes.
Yes.
What he raised was our approved budget was 250. and the warrants were 226. So that's where he gets his 23 million as the underperformance.
Listen. There is he said the father observed that the NTR underperformed by 23 million.
Yes, the underperformance was in terms of what finance released to the hospital. When you get 250 minus 226, you get 23 million. So for him, we expected, since we collected more, we would be given the whole of our budget as warrants and the releases. But finance did not do that.
Accountant General, what happens to the money that was sent in excess to the Treasury?
This money is released to the entity based on their projections. If you see their budget, their approved budget, it's 250 million. So finance releases an appropriation in aid based on that on the approved budget.
So, but they overcollected, they overperformed.
When they overperform, it's released to them in the following financial
The following financial year. So we expect that money to come back the following financial year. Honorable members, do you have anything to say about this?
Whereas they had budgeted for 250 million as NTR. On the other hand, they collected more, 395 million. Now, I would like to find out why, for you, your projection was 250 million, but you are able to collect more. Which were these sources?
Don't put it off.
Which were these sources, these hidden sources, which increased your NTR?
Thank you very much, Chair and honorable members. This figure was arrived at following consultative meetings with the Ministry of Finance, whereby they reviewed the overall NTR performance across the regional referrals, and most of the hospitals were not actually getting their budget year in, year out. But they just gave us a blanket, a one fit for all. Some hospitals actually requested for their AIA MTF to be raised, but they said they wanted to first study the trend. But for Jinja trend, the Jinja trend has always been above 300 million. So this is a figure which was pushed to us by Ministry of Finance, the planning area.
I thought you first do your projection.
Yes, we did.
What was your projection? Why was it only 250?
This is the figure which was given by Ministry of Finance, the economy.
No, what was your projection?
That time, what was it?
It was around 500.
500 something.
500, then they cut it by half.
Yes.
Then you raised it.
Yes.
Okay. Honorable member? What may we have any anything? I think, we dropped this query. Let's proceed to 1.2. Under absorption of funds. Your warrant was 11 billion. You got only 10 billion, which means you spent only 10 billion. Then there was an unspent balance of 1.3 billion, representing 11%. So what do you say, Accounting Officer?
Yeah, most of the unspent funds were actually for wage.
Sorry?
Wage. Because we had planned to recruit 44 health workers, and their enrollments would be around 1 billion. However, by closure of the financial year, we had not received even one. So that means the money which was meant for those people to be recruited, it actually went back. For us, we did our procurement plan, we did our submission, we declared that we got the approval to recruit, we submitted to Health Service Commission, and after we do that, for us, we wait. Then we also had officers who retired, and they were supposed to be replaced, they were not replaced. We had some were transferred, but they were not replaced. So most of the 1.3 billion is actually on employee employee posts wage.
Can you give us evidence for this?
Yes. I have
recruitment plan. Do you have a recruitment plan there?
Yeah, it is appendix
Is it
number
attached?
5. Yes,
Okay,
it is attached.
we'll look through.
Appendix number 5.
And then the reporting period. Why did they report late?
It depends on when they have been posted. The recruitment process takes a little bit longer. And we have attached the copy of staffs who have joined since the audit was done. That is appendix number 5B. We have received 33 so far.
Where is the
appendix number 5?
Is it on this?
Yes, it is on the, not on the final count, on the responses.
The responses.
On the responses.
Okay.
Appendix 5A and 5B.
I'm not seeing. Is it,
yes, the next one. Yeah.
But now, in terms of the posts,
yes.
Do you have your kind of, I would say, staff list and requirements?
Yes, we do.
So that we are able to know whether these posts are already filled?
Most of these posts actually are not yet filled, as they still appear here as of today.
They are not yet filled?
Not yet.
You advertise what happened?
I think that question would best be answered by Health Service Commission, because for us we stop at submitting to them and getting permission.
But you need to follow up. You know, the issue is not about saying that
yes, we followed up.
Health Service Commission, but have you made follow-up?
Yes, we made a follow-up.
What shows that you have made follow-up? What shows that you have made follow-up? Can you present to this committee evidence that you actually have been following up?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable Florence.
Mr. Chairman, the accounting officer should note that this is a delegated function this committee is carrying out. We are working on behalf of Parliament, and we are making a report to Parliament. We shall not be informing Parliament the way you are explaining to us. The committee is evidence-based. So whatever you are saying, you must give us evidence so that we attach to our report.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we are going to hold all these queries where you have no evidence.
Honourable Member of Parliament, I apologize for not bringing that evidence, but the outgoing accounting officer told me that he was actually following up.
Now, what you took over from him or
him?
From him. So you should have been able to understand what is going on.
Yes. By the time he handed over, he also handed to me over a recruitment plan for this financial year.
Can we get all your manpower plan, the structures?
Yes.
Do you have it there?
I didn't bring.
Do you have a human resource here?
No, I didn't.
You didn't carry a human resource person?
But we can avail it.
Because we want to see how
we can avail it.
Yes. The gaps created in terms of all these positions that have not been filled.
We can avail it, Chair.
Can you satisfy this committee that you are comfortable with the staffing level you have?
No, I'm not.
What is the challenge?
The challenge is the specialists, whom are actually the ones we had targeted.
Who are the specialists?
The consultants and medical officers special grade.
So you don't have those ones?
I have few. I need more. Out of 29 doctors, I have 20.
Out of 29?
Yes.
You have 20?
Yes.
You are doing very well.
Yeah.
It's almost over and above, whatever.
But I need more. Given the size of the hospital, I need more.
All Honorable members, do you have anything to talk about
Mr.
this
Chairman.
to the accounting officer?
Under absorption of funds, there's a figure that the Auditor General is talking about, 1.3. But in the response of the accounting officer, they are talking of 1.172.
Yes.
I would like to find out the difference. Which figure should we consider, Mr. Chairman? And then, in the explanation of the Auditor General, of the accounting officer, they are justifying why these monies were not absorbed. And one of the reasons is that staff were transferred without getting replacements, meaning that their money was coming to you. Now, I would have imagined, Mr. Chairman, that when somebody is transferred, the person is deleted from the payroll of the entity. Now, why were you still maintaining them? Because that is the impression I'm getting from your explanation.
Yep. Honorable Chair, when I'm transferred from an entity, I'm deleted from the payroll. However, this 11 billion, already the wage would have been budgeted for. And Ministry of Finance releases to us funds not based on impost, but they give us pro rata depending on what they had budgeted for us. So it is not that the person remained on the payroll. The person is deleted, but still the person would have been budgeted for, so it will be reflected in the money budgeted for.
Because the post still remains.
Yes, because the post remains, awaiting another person to come and occupy it.
But how about if transfers is made in terms of the salaries and the person, that particular person is on there? Why do you maintain the post?
I need the post. I need somebody to come and do the work.
Okay, now you talk about the other balance of 200 million plus. Because now this one here you are giving 1.172 billion in terms of the wage bill. How about the 200 non-absorption and absorption?
Yes, there is the 20, the one which was not released from the consolidated fund. It becomes part of it, and the accountant will take over the rest since he analyzed our.
Okay. There is also those people who died and we are not replaced. Their money we still get the release, but we cannot apply that money.
You see, Honorable Florence just said that when you are coming to this committee, you don't walk as if you are going to your gardens. You see the point? Now you should have been able to clearly indicate exactly this balance that has been noted by the Auditor General, the 1.3 billion 20. That this one here, this is for the wage bill, the other one is for people who have died, the other one is for whatever, the other one, so that you present before this committee and we see that really, the other absorption has been caused by ABC and D. You get what I'm saying? So where is it? Where is the document?
We did not bring it, but we have that analysis with us. We can avail it by mail even tomorrow.
Can you break this?
Yes, we are.
This explanation is not adequate. Okay? Break this and then you submit by Friday. Can you submit by Friday?
Yeah, by Friday, yes.
Any other issue, members? Can we proceed to 1.4? So we are going to stay the audit query until you submit those documents. And then we scrutinize and see how. 1.4, you diverted 299, 250, 912 million Uganda shillings. Why did you divert this money?
Honorable Chair, as an entity, we admit to the crime.
First, will you tell us how you have diverted, then why you have diverted? Just those two. How have you diverted and why you have diverted?
Yeah, the funds were diverted to items where there was under budgeting and they were critical for the hospital.
So what are those things? What are those items?
Mr. Chairman, may the accounting officer tell us, before you divert any funds for any activity, what are you supposed to do?
You're supposed to ask the PS, Secretary Treasury, for permission
We'll
to
come to
divert
that.
the funds.
You give us explanation what you have. But now you first tell us how you have done it. How have you diverted? Why you have diverted? Those two questions.
Yeah.
Let's start with that one.
I said why we diverted.
How? Let's start with
How? By spending money on items which were not budgeted.
Which are those items?
Which were not budgeted.
Which were those items that were not diverted? Those were not whatever?
Accountant, give us the list.
Which were those items that were not budgeted for? And you decided just to pick it from somewhere, put in your work plan? Because you are going to refund this money before we conclude. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the list of the mischarges is attached behind.
Okay.
Not there, it is
in where?
On the final account.
On the final accounts.
Okay. Yes.
This not
It is on the queries.
It is in the queries.
In the queries or on the final account?
In the queries.
This one?
The report. Yeah, the report.
Now that's where now we are going to start fighting now. Yeah. I'm not seeing it.
Chairman, it is here.
Is it anywhere?
I have a copy here.
Okay.
I came with my copy.
Oh, it should have been the appendix. You know the attached appendix? Now you tell us now.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, there are some items which we are taken as mischarges, whereas they are not. Like when you go to
don't go there. I even don't want us to move in that direction. Because first of all, you had all the time with the Auditor General to say, you know, this one here is not supposed to be a mischarge. This one here, the budget line item is here. This one here, you should have done that because we had an exit meeting. So for us now, we are relying on this because the Auditor General did the audits, you accepted, you signed, she actually appended as signature. That is the authentic document. So when you start now arguing with us here, we don't have the time to look through this. I've just said we want to build a record today. So you tell us, now we have seen all this, why have you decided to mischarge and divert the money?
Chair, can we have a copy of the...
They are going to photocopy.
It was because of, I think, the spending pressures at the hospital.
Sorry?
It was because of the spending pressures at the hospital.
What kind of pressure was that? What kind of pressure was on the allowance? What kind of pressure was on consultancy, short service? Maybe maintenance of equipment, furniture. And furniture? You maintain furniture also?
Yes, we do.
Or does the budget chart? Okay.
It is still the same.
What kind of pressure was on welfare and entertainment? Was there a pressure that you should have an entertainment in the hospital? What kind of pressure? Accounting officer?
Mr. Chairman, I think we have not come here to audit. The audits were done, and these are the queries. The public finance is clear on officers who don't abide by the law. I think we invoke that, Mr. Chairman, section 79, I think.
Honorable Mura, you want to say something?
Yes.
There is a serious diversion
Thank you very much, Chair.
in your regional referral hospital.
Chair, I want to believe that the hospital has very competent staff and who know the challenges they go through managing referral units like this. And when we first started our engagement as PAC, I remember all accounting officers were invited, including doctor who was not in Jinja but was somewhere this side. And we discussed very seriously issues concerning emergencies that arise in hospitals. The medical people focused on those emergencies as one of the causes of mischarge, because you have to look for resources that are available to save the situation. But now, when you would have even been better off answering this in line with emergencies that hit you in the hospital. But when you're mischarging and the resources are taken to entertainment, the resources are taken to allowances that can wait, resources are taken to areas that are completely offline in terms of budget and which are not very important. We have COVID now that has affected everywhere. But you can see how the whole country is suffering. But everyone has postponed some of these very important issues. Then it takes us nowhere but to maintain that charge. Chair, I really don't know what your ruling will be on this. If doctor can assure us that you will write to secretary and come and get clearance for that mischarge, then that is something that we can afford to give time. But as far as we are concerned now, this one here is an obligation that you will have to carry and be responsible for this. You can see the items, entertainment. Why don't you postpone this party? Why must you spend on that? And Chair, I leave that for your further guidance, but I think it is not something that we should take lightly. You are talking of 300 million shillings. But Chair, just to go back, when I was entering, apologies for coming late, but when I was settling down, doctor was, accounting officer was telling us of handing over, and the person she took over from will come and respond here. Maybe for your information, accounting officer, we are also waiting for you to respond on issues concerning the station that you left. There are queries that are here. If it pleases the chair, before he closes, he may have to bring that to your attention, that where you also handed over, there are things that are following you to Jinja where you have gone. Thank you very much.
Hey, where were you?
Fort Potter.
Huh?
Fort Potter.
Oh, I remember, yes, there are so many issues. So, yes. You were in the row house?
Fort Potter.
Now you tell us. Who was the accounting officer at that time? Because I know you start saying, I was not there. Somebody else was there, but he was there. You were also not there?
I took over in April when the financial year was ending in June.
So who was the accountant?
There was somebody called yourself.
Where is he now?
I think he's in ICT.
Were you there at that time?
No.
Who was the accounting officer at that time?
Dr. Nkurunziza Edward. Dr. Nkurunziza Edward.
Dr. who?
Nkurunziza Edward.
Nkurunziza?
Yes.
The former president of Burundi?
No.
And the accountant was who?
Esero.
So where is Dr. Nkuruziza Edward now?
Has joined politics. He has retired and he has joined politics.
So he diverted the money to join politics?
I don't know.
Esero who?
Joseph.
Where is he now? He also joined politics?
No, I think it's in ICT.
Mr. Chairman, this is the Constitution, Article 164 on accountability. It says the permanent secretary or the accounting officer in charge of a ministry or department shall be accountable to Parliament for the funds in that ministry or department. Any person holding a political or a public office who directs or concurs in the use of public funds contrary to existing instructions shall be accountable for any loss arising from that use and shall be required to make good the loss even if he or she has ceased to hold that office.
No.
That is the Constitution. And Section 79 on offenses of the public finance management. A person commits an offense if that person without lawful authority under this act or any other act without reasonable excuse fails to provide by the due date any information the Secretary to Treasury may reasonably require under this section. Mr. Chairman, this is a query that was raised. I'm proposing that the officers responsible are held accountable.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Florence. Rosemary, do you have anything to say on this? Honorable Rosemary? Now, honorable members, I think we are going to stay this query. And then we'll request the accounting officer to make a written written statement, not by verbal, because we do not want verbal stuff. Why this money was actually diverted. Upon receiving that statement of yours, we will review it. If we are not satisfactory, if it's not satisfactory, then we may request for a recovery. Okay?
So I've taken note.
We'll give you until Friday. Make an explanation on this. Why this diversion has taken place, how it has taken place. If we are satisfied, then we will consider dropping. But if not, then we are going to ask for you to recover this money from the respective. But as of now, let's stay the audit query, honorable members, and then we move to the next item. 1.3, there's 1.3 that has not been captured in our previous documents here, but now I've seen this one here. Is there implementation of plan outputs? I hope you have the document there. 1.3. We're getting back to.
It's here.
Sorry?
It's that one.
1.3. 1.3, Section 54 of the Public Finance Management Act stated the accounting officer shall enter an annual budget performance contract with the Secretary of Treasury, which shall bind the accounting officer to deliver on activities in the work plan. But it was noted that 8 district major outputs reported in the financial statement on page 29 of the financial statement. All the 8 districts, 100%, were fully implemented. Hey, where is the query here?
It was a commitment, that's why we didn't have it for the good work.
A. So you have got some credit here.
Mr. Chairman,
After diverting money.
it is contradictory because somewhere they are talking of
Diversion.
spending money on unplanned activities. It is in this very query. So I think the commandment here is irrelevant.
Yeah, because if there is an absorption of funds, now how do you say the outputs, the 8 districts, major 8 outputs were fully implemented? Anyway, since it is now nothing, let's leave it the way it is. Let's not go into it now, Salongo.
7, Mr. Chairman, there is 7 procurements outside the consolidated annual plan. So,
That's also another one.
Yes.
So,
Chair, what I wanted to
yes, go ahead.
Maybe to say is this issue 1.3. I think they sampled, and the sample they picked.
The sample proved to be
the
perfect.
sample they picked was, I think, is the one which showed that there were no issues.
Okay, I think since now the sample shows that,
Issues are appearing in the same.
but the sample contradicts the other issues that you have raised. You see, and therefore your opinion may not be absolute.
Maybe my colleague can add something.
Yes, my brother.
Thank you, Chair. This is what we call the thematic reporting, where we report in its entirety. Now, what we sampled, we have what is planned outputs and the ones which were not planned. So of the planned outputs, the sample of 8, all of them were fully implemented. So the ones which are unplanned are the ones which appear to have been implemented outside the budget. But for the planned outputs, the hospital fully implemented. Those are the ones which appear in the statement of performance.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Let's go to 2.0, non-tax revenue spent at source. You collected 529 and remitted 3A. So you collected even more money, remitted less, then you spent at source 134 million.
Yes.
No, you're even saying, okay, now you justify your yes now.
Yeah. The entity spent at source because of this is the NTR money, because of the capping of the budget. At that time, it was realized that the hospital, it could not pay the suppliers for essential medicines and health supplies.
I still want to understand, under what law are you using to justify yourself to spend at source? Because it seems to be very confident that is okay.
No, it is not okay.
Collected the money and then therefore we can spend at source.
Yeah, it is not okay, and it was irregular. We should have written to the seeking for permission to either for additional money or whatever, which we didn't do. But
can you read section? Do you have the treasury instruction there? Somebody having treasury instruction somewhere? I don't think I carried my copy. Section 17. Okay, let me quote what the Auditor General said.
Yes.
Paragraph 17.231A of the Treasury Instructions 2017 requires that cash deposit must be banked intact within 24 hours of receipt.
Yes, that one we are doing.
That's what you're doing. So why have you spent this money at? Why didn't you bank the 134?
Yeah, it was banked and we withdrew it when we were under pressure by the health workers and the suppliers.
And you should have taken to the
Instead
consolidated
of sending
fund.
it to the consolidated fund.
So why did you take it to the consolidated fund?
because the suppliers were threatening to take legal action.
You see, this is not your money. You know, the problem is
Yes.
that you are accounting officer, you assume a lot of powers. Eh? You think the money generated from the hospital is just yours?
No,
To use like that.
it is not ours. It
It's
is
not
for
your
the
personal
government.
money.
Yes.
Therefore, if it's not your personal money, there are laws and regulations governing the use of those monies.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.